Yeah.
We'll save these
for a rainy day.
Yo, how are the cookies?
6 Hour wanted to do a dessert party, so we did.
Down another one.
Pie and stuff like that.
Well, kind of a pseudo dessert party one.
Fancy.
Why's my phone at 9%?
You said it's 9%? 90 or 9?
9. Oh, 0.
9.
Like, I haven't even been on my phone at all today. No, I haven't.
I think
I
you
don't
don't like
have my
my
regular
red
thing
line.
at all. Like, I have music. Oh, do you have any background?
Yeah, that'll be why.
I have music playing.
What?
So like an automatic like shit off.
What is that? Water? Water?
Well, yeah. The paperwork just came in, so we finally got to name her.
It has its own student ID, you know.
Okay, guys. Surely by now you've noticed that we have a celebrity teacher in the room, Mr. Ebling in the back. He's here to basically observe me as I student teach, so observing him as a observing. But for right now, just kind of treating him like he's, well, not there, but just in the back and just watching and paying attention.
No.
So today we got this book. Anyone has anybody ever read Night by Elie Wiesel? Okay. You want to give us like an idea of what it's about?
No.
I just didn't know if she responded just to you.
Okay. It's about
Oh, were you in there?
about nighttime.
No.
Interesting interpretation.
Which is fine.
It's about the author, and he's in like
So you did.
concentration camp.
Cool. That's great.
Okay. So yes, the book Night is written by Elie Wiesel. He wrote this about his time while he was in the concentration camps. This book is written autobiographically. Anyone know what that word means? How about Luke?
No clue. Give me the word and I can probably do it.
Autobiographically, without your phone.
Wow. Auto. Okay. Auto means themselves.
Right.
And then biography means like telling a story about themselves. So they wrote a story about themselves.
Very good.
Yeah, we know in the third grade.
So to begin with, I'm going to show you guys a short little video on Elie Wiesel. So, give me a second.
Your first name's Adam.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. You don't look like it.
What do I look like?
You look like a
Adjusted.
No.
Just
Did you say majestic? No, a little bit of a hang.
Hank.
I haven't heard that name.
I've never been in Hank.
Maybe like an 8.
But anyways,
Robert.
this is going to be a little biography about Elie Wiesel. It's like a short little clip. So, enjoy.
Wiesel was born in 1928 in the town of Sighet, which is now a part of Romania. During World War II, he, with his family, along with other Jews from the area, were deported to the German concentration and extermination camps, where his mother and little sister were sent to the gas chambers, and 3 years later his father died in Buchenwald. Wiesel and his 2 older sisters survived. Liberated from Buchenwald in 1945 by advancing Allied troops, he was taken to Paris, France, where he studied at the Sorbonne and worked as a journalist. In 1958, he published his first book in French, La Nuit, later translated into English entitled Night. This memoir detailed his experiences in the concentration camps. He has since authored nearly 30 books, some of which still use his personal experiences as their basic material. In his many lectures, Wiesel has concerned himself with the situation of the Jews and other groups who have suffered persecution and death because of their religion, race, or national origin. Wiesel is a United States citizen and lives in New York City, where he is a visiting scholar at Yale University, a distinguished professor of Judaic Studies at the City College of New York, and an Andrew W. Mellon Professor in the Humanities at Boston University, where he teaches literature of memory. In 1986, Wiesel won the Nobel Peace Prize and later founded the Elie Wiesel Foundation for Humanity with his wife Marion. Wiesel has also served as a chairman of the United States Holocaust Memorial Council from 1980 to 1986, and today still serves on numerous boards of trustees and advisors. In the early 1990s, he lobbied the U.S. government on behalf of victims of ethnic cleansing in Bosnia. Wiesel has received numerous awards and approximately 75 honorary doctorates. In 1993, Wiesel spoke at the dedication of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. His words, which echo his life's work, are carved in stone at the entrance to the museum. For the dead and the living, we must bear witness. In 2015, Wiesel addressed members of the United States Congress, urging them not to allow Iran to pursue their nuclear program. He said, "When evil begins its work, don't give it another chance." Philosopher, speaker, playwright, professor, and lifelong voice of millions of Holocaust victims, Elie Wiesel died July 2, 2016 at age 87. The Nobel Peace Prize Committee praised Wiesel as a messenger to mankind.
So that's that. So Elie Wiesel was an impressive man, a great man of literature, and a Holocaust survivor. One of my favorite quotes by Elie Wiesel is, "Hate is not the antithesis of love. Indifference is." Anyone know what indifference is? Anyone? Anyways, indifference is kind of like apathy or not feeling. So it's the opposite of love in the fact that when you feel love for someone, you tend to feel very passionate and overpowering emotions. So indifference would be like more apathy, and you really don't care about anything or about the other person. So that's why he marked indifference as the opposite of love instead of hate. Because when you hate someone, you still think about them a lot. You still, it's rooted in something, maybe pain that they caused you, or even falling out of love with them, or something to that nature. So this book follows the perspective of Elie Wiesel, the author, first person. He writes about his time, I believe he was around the age of 14, his time in Auschwitz, a concentration camp during the Holocaust. The Holocaust was an event that faced during World War II where approximately 6 million Jews were killed. So this book falls under two categories. One category, yes, Alex?
Didn't he go to the other one to start with the B?
He started at Buni, or
Buna.
I can never say it correctly.
He went to several.
He went to several.
And the book sort of chronicles.
But ultimately,
Some
he
of
ended
those.
up at Auschwitz, and Auschwitz is kind of the most well known. But yeah, he went to like one that was Buni or something. Then there was like another S one, and then Auschwitz. But this book just details mostly like his travels from all the different camps, and then eventually ending up at Auschwitz. So this book falls under two different categories that I'd like to talk about. The first being witness literature. Raising, okay. Anyone have an idea what witness literature means? Yes, Alex. Correct. The reason that witness literature exists is essentially, you guys know the saying, if you don't learn from history, then you're doomed to repeat it. So essentially, witness literature is chronicling the events that have happened, either because they're so good or they're so horrible that we have to make sure that we don't repeat them. I mean, the loss of 6 million lives was devastating not only to the world, but to the Jewish culture, because you're losing these types of people that have a specific history, language, different art forms that they can produce, different ways of seeing the world. And to lose something like that is horrible because we lose that perspective. Have you guys ever lost anything like that? Lost anything that you just felt really like it's missing after it's lost? The other genre that this falls into is a coming of age story. The coming of age story, again, anybody want to venture a guess? That's one way of putting it, specifically for men and boys. Yes, Jake?
His experiences in death camps sent his life into adulthood.
Very good. So basically, a coming of age story is as people grow up, they grow into the people that they are. They grow spiritually. They learn their values. They learn who they are as people, and gradually they move from adolescence and teenagerhood. That a word? Teenagerhood? But anyways, like more like moving from adolescence, gently growing into the person that you're going to be and the adult that you're going to be. So that's a coming of age story. Anyone want? Everybody remember The Part-Time Diary by Sherman Alexie? That's kind of a coming of age story because anyone want to venture a guess why? Right. Followed Arnold as he went to a new school, as he was kind of singled out because he was one of the only or few Indians there. Can't. It's been a year or so since I've read the book. Nice. The only actual Indian there. We follow him as he deals with so many different life events, like his sister moving away, his sister eventually dying, grandmother dying, and we watch as all these events kind of help to shape Arnold into who he is, if he reached some form of self-actualization. Another thing that I want to talk about with this book is just like the general themes and ideas that you're going to get from it. So one theme is you're going to get to know a lot about the Jewish culture. You're going to essentially live the life of the Jewish boy by reading this book. You're going to see like all the amounts of study that he did, the different like holidays that they celebrated, the different type of texts that they had to learn, that they learned in order to be part of the Jewish faith. You're also going to see the relationships between father and son, because after a certain point in the book, it's just Ellie and his father, and they kind of become that person for each other. The only person to live for, that keeps them safe, that keeps them going when they would really want to give up in the concentration camps. So you're going to look for that as well. You're also going to see a lot of history in terms of what the Nazis did in the concentration camps, how they treated people, how how they dehumanize them. And then